moved over to Chesapeake, did you? I guess you didn't know at the time. Couldn't have known that you were basically strapping yourself to a rocket, essentially. Like you had hitched yourself a ride on a rocket, effectively.
Had no idea. It was funny because when I was probably there for about maybe a month, and I was working through lunch one day, and anybody that's worked at Chesapeake knows this. Every kitchen in Chesapeake had boxes of saltine crackers and jars of peanut butter and water bottles. And so that was going to be my lunch. So I went in to the kitchen. We were in a small little building over in Three Chop. It's called Three Chop. It's where the campus is now. And I made myself a plate of peanut butter crackers, had a water bottle, and walking through the trade room. And nobody was there because it was lunchtime. In the trade room had TVs everywhere. Well, one of the TVs had a Jerry Springer show on.
Rest in peace, Jerry. We talked about it before the episode that we wanted to tell the story because the news of his passing.
Jerry just passed away. But anyway, I'm standing there for about 15, 20 seconds watching Jerry Springer. Had a cracker in my mouth, and Aubrey, who I'd never seen walk through our building in the month I was there, walks in by himself, looks at me, looks up at the TV, walks over to the TV, hits the off button, turns around and walks through the building and out the building. And I thought, I've been here a month, I'm probably going to get let go now because he caught me watching Jerry Springer.
He had a way of making you feel really big sometimes if he was, engaged in praising you, but if you ever felt like he was disappointed, you're like, he could make you feel small too.
Yeah, he had a way of figuring out what motivated everybody. He had a way of figuring out how he could treat each person in the company, and he was so good at that. And he treated everybody with respect. But if you needed to be knocked down a notch, he could do that as well.
Yeah.
But he did it in a positive way, typically.
Right. So you got there, you didn't know that it was going to be what it was going to be. I mean, like, what was explain to me, because, like, I didn't know Chesapeake in the late 90s because I was young at that point, and I still lived in Tulsa. But what was the vibe when you went over there? Did it feel like it had a ton of growth potential? Was it, just talk about how things were there when you went over, then we'll talk about how things changed.
Gas prices at the time I went over there were probably about $1. And I thought, what am I doing going over to Chesapeake? They had just come out of a difficult time as well. But it was a great opportunity because I thought if prices come back around, this place could take off, and be really successful. And in fact, in my 5-year anniversary, every year Aubrey would take the people that had been there for 5 years and 10 years and 15 years and have a little get together with them. And he was in there one day, and we were in there one day, and he said, "Okay, who started here in 1999?" And about, 10 people raised their hand. And he goes, "What were you thinking?" It was a tough time. 1999 was a tough time in the business. But it wasn't long after that prices started coming back, and I got to do things at Chesapeake that I never dreamed I'd get to do. And I give Aubrey a lot of credit for that, because he took us on a ride that was, you just had to hold on and do your best. And that's what we did.
When you got there, how many rigs were they running?
10.
10. That's still a lot of rigs, by any standards. I don't know back then if that was as big of a deal.
Yeah, and at one point in time, we had 162 rigs running.
Yeah, 165, something like
that. And it was...
And those were horizontal rigs, too, most of them.
A lot of them, yeah. Most of them. But the other thing that we were able to do at Chesapeake was hire good people.
Sure.
And what was interesting is the Type A personalities always seemed to thrive there, and because they saw the job they had to do, and they focused on getting that job done and not what the other guy was doing. the teamwork there was pretty phenomenal.